This afternoon, the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board released what it thinks schools should look like in September, as urged by the Ontario government. Today was the deadline for all boards to put this plan in place. The CBC's Tamina Aziz joining us now. You took a look at this thing. What does the plan look like?
Chris, it's a lengthy document, 43 pages, and it promises to be a school year unlike any other. First of all, staff and students will be required to do a daily self-assessment prior to entering the school. Anyone with symptoms of illness will have to stay home. Physical distancing measures will also be in place. No hand-holding or hugging will be allowed, and furniture and desks will be spaced out as far as possible. Now, in terms of scheduling, elementary schools will run full day in person Monday to Friday, and the same applies for students with special needs in elementary schools. But for students in high schools, the schedule looks much different. Class sizes are limited to about 15 students, and high school students will be divided into two cohorts, A and B, and they'll attend school on a 2-week alternating schedule. 3 weeks in the first week and 2 days in the next week. On the days that students are not in school, they're expected to do online learning. Masks will also be required for students from grades 4 to 12, but they can take it off during recess times, which will be staggered, and parents won't be allowed inside the schools except in cases of emergency. And of course, parents can always opt to have their kids learn from home only, as indicated by the Ministry of Education. The full plan will be discussed during tonight's school board meeting.
A lot to take in there, and very much different than what a normal school year would look like. But we're just a month away. What are parents thinking about all this?
Well, Chris, we spoke to a stay-at-home mom a few days ago after the province rolled out its back-to-school plan last week. Megan Rigdon has 2 young kids on the autism spectrum who will be attending a Catholic school. She worries about sending them back.
No matter how big a milestone starting school is, there are certainly huge concerns that we have, looking at the biostatistician who's advising the government. The rates he's showing don't necessarily look great for our region. We do have significant community spread, although there's a lot of talk about the agriculture being part of it. It certainly is a part of it, but it's because there is significant spread. And I think sending kids back in this environment when we are now seeing that they carry the same viral loads, it doesn't make any sense to me as a parent.
Premier Doug Ford told reporters today he's also concerned about what back to school will look like, but he says the province's plan referred to the recommendations from Sick Kids Hospital, which he describes as incredible.
If your kid is sick, the first thing you want to do is bring them to the doctors. And really sick, you bring them to Sick Kids, world class. So they've come up with a plan. I respect their plan. They're the experts. We aren't the experts. But for the parents that are nervous, I understand. I'm nervous as a premier. I'm going to be losing sleep all the way up through September to make sure these kids are safe.
He says kids want to go back to school, and the Ontario plan is safer in comparison to other provinces. We did reach out to the Greater Essex County District School Board to find out more about what their school plan will look like. They said they're still getting their guides together and hope to have it ready by later this week. It's also worth mentioning that in the Catholic Board's plan, mental health support staff will also be available during the 2 weeks leading up to the return to school. The goal is to support students struggling with mental health issues such as anxiety and depression as a result of school closures and isolation. School starts September 8. Chris.
Thanks for this, Tamina. The CBC's Tamina Aziz live tonight.